sake. Oh yeah, more Pegasus. The video I reacted to from more Pegasus, on Friday. Oh yeah, I should do that. The video I reacted to from more Pegasus was about the upcoming Hassan debate. What I didn't realize is while I was reacting to that video, the debate was fucking happening. And I did not realize that the debate was actually happening while I was reacting to this video. I found this out later. So the debate has since ended. I have heard a little bit about how it went. So Rev put out a video yesterday about just how badly the debate went for Hassan. So I do want to see that. It's a bit longer on a video. It's a bit longer of a video, so this could take him a little while. Oh, it's starting to get dark, actually. Let me go turn my lights on. Because if I'm going to be talking about this for as long as I think I am, I'm gonna want to have my lights on because it's gonna be dark. It's actually gonna be dark outside by the time I finish. No. He can like Sab. When I was reacting to that more Pegasus video, it was sounding like he was coming up with excuses, but he actually did do the debate. He actually did go through with it, and apparently he basically crashed and burned in glorious fashion, from what I've heard. So I'm very curious about it because that's literally the only thing I know about is he crashed and burned, but I know no details. So, and gray matter, that is grossly correct. So thank you, Falcon. Anyway, chat. Let's see how, because I have some other information regarding this individual, but I'll wait till after the video to talk about it, because who knows, Rev may talk about it. So, let's check it out.
Hey, what's up, guys? Rev here. So
Hi,
today we're going
Rev.
to be talking about the much-anticipated debate between Ethan Klein and Hasan Piker. Now, we're going to look at some clips from this. It's obviously a 4.5-hour-long debate, so we're going to just hit the most key parts of the debate. But before we get into the clips, I just want to make it very clear, I think this was a massive L for Hasan Piker. I have absolutely no idea why he thought
that's what I've heard.
This was something he should have done. He got absolutely embarrassed, okay? And you have to understand at the same time here that Ethan Klein is a dude who runs a comedy podcast, and Hasan Piker is a guy who streams 12 hours a day about politics. His whole world is supposed to be about politics, and they have this debate, and he takes the L. It should have been a complete sweep for him. He should have had a very easy time, but that's not what happened. Instead, he got caught in many different lies. He said some very out-of-pocket stuff, and honestly just started crashing out halfway through. So before we get into the clips, I want to point out one more thing.
That's what I've heard. He was crashing, the little bit that I heard, he was crashing out. He was basically, he would be asked a question, and Hassan would just wax poetic on and on and on, and could not actually answer a question. Or he would try and turn it around, and a question would be asked to him, and he'd try and reverse it with a question back without actually answering it. It's fucking hilarious. He basically showed to the streaming world that he's full of shit. He flat out exposed himself as being someone who does not have a fucking clue. And that the minute you actually challenge him on anything, he can't defend it. And I find that just fucking hilarious.
Throughout the clips, you're going to see Ethan Klein here. He has some tics where he moves around his hands and he moves around some of his facial expressions. That's because he has Tourette's. This is a fact that is mocked in Hassan's community. It's mocked by many different communities that don't like him. In fact, you can see during the debate, Anissa here.
Yeah, and by the way, I was not aware I saw visuals with no audio, but I saw visuals of Ethan, and I noticed he was doing these weird movements with his head and with his hands. I was like, I wonder what's going on with that. And then I found out later, oh, he has Tourette's. You just normally don't see it, but I guess in a high pressure situation like a debate, there was a lot of pressure. It was and so I'm guessing it came out. But apparently, yeah, I had no idea. But Ethan apparently has Tourette's, and it comes out. It's not like Tourette. It's not Tourette's. Most people think Tourette's is like people just start. They think like most people that know about Tourette's, they think of the verbal stuff where they will just like randomly yell or scream or say something or swear. Tourette's is basically bare bonesing it. Tourette's is basically uncontrollable either verbiage or tics or twitches or movements, which Ethan never displayed that before, which is why I was like, I wonder what's going on. And I had no idea that Ethan actually had Tourette's, but you will see it in this. So like the head twitch movements or some hand twitch movements, just be aware that's his Tourette's. If Reb shows any video footage of it, it is his Tourette's.
This is iDubbbz's wife tweeted drugs. That is something that they have been perpetuating for a very long time. These communities are trying to
because of course it was iDubbbz's wife.
It's a symptom of having a drug addiction, which is a very disgusting thing to do, especially from these so-called progressive people. But let's see some of the clips here. This was the pre-show. This was not a good start at all. You can see him going after Ethan for some of his sponsors that Hassan also has.
So I want to say, first of all, thank you to Shopify for sponsoring us. I also want to thank
Shopify sponsoring terrorism by way of, well, I guess they sponsor my podcast too.
Amazing. Well,
oh my God, it hasn't even the debate didn't even start, and he already puts his foot down his throat before it even started. He said, "Oh yeah, Shopify sponsors terrorism." Oh, but they support my stream too. Begs the question: does Shopify still sponsor Hassan's stream? I kind of wonder if Shopify is still sponsoring Hassan. Well, no, David. There was nothing wrong with Shopify itself. It's Hassan basically trying to snipe at Ethan before the debate even began, and just realized he basically did the Lewis Black joke and turned the gun around on himself and went kablam, and kablammed himself instead of Ethan, which is fucking hilarious, and kind of sets the stage for just the shoving his head into a dumpster that Ethan does.
I guess he'd be right, at least for one of the parties, when he says they would be sponsoring terrorism, but anyway.
Hamas biker put his foot so far down his own throat he is kicking his own ass from the inside.
Well, alternatively, Canito, he shoved his head up his own ass so much he's able to taste what he had for dinner 2 days ago. God, why did I just elicit that visual in my own head? Oh God, get it out, get it out. Oh God, mistake, get it out of my head. Get out, oh fuck.
Anyways, let's move on to this. This was the first words between them, and it was very messy and sloppy right from the get-go.
Are you going to show me all the time as well on the Zoom call?
Here, I can fix that. 1 second. Let me just set it to Ethan's output here.
If you want,
there you go.
If you want, just show like not just Ethan, but yourself as well. If you're going to talk, like that's fine.
Hey,
I don't know if it's gonna
Hassan,
be too difficult.
leave the production notes to my team. You can switch your show how you like.
Yeah, you can see the kind of attitude he came in with, trying to run the show here, but it's not his show, and he can do whatever he wants on his end. But I'm going to get right into one of the more significant clips here. This one is pretty ridiculous, the things that Hassan Piker said. The topic is the October 7th attacks, okay? And during those attacks, there were both women and men who were sexually abused. And Hassan Piker has been a fervent denier of those facts. He has doubled, tripled, and quadrupled down on this. He denies that those things happened during the attacks, and this is what he said
Hello,
when he was
Mirstar.
pressed on this by Ethan Klein.
During the October 7th, 2023 attack, credible circumstantial information which may be indicative of some forms of sexual violence, including genital mutilation, sexualized torture, cruel, inhuman, and degrading treatment, was also gathered.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So I'm gonna walk you
Are
through
they
this real quick.
hallucinating?
No. So no, you just don't know what words mean. So credible circumstance.
What the fuck? You don't know what words mean. Again, the words are the conflict-related SA occurred at several locations across the Gaza periphery, including in the form of blankety blank, because I'm not saying it, during the 7 October 2023 attacks, credible circumstantial information which may be indicative of some forms of that, including a whole bunch of other stuff I am not saying, was also gathered. And Hassan is going to say, you don't understand words. Motherfucker, it's in black and white. It is in motherfucking black and white. And if you cannot agree about what is in black and white script right in front of you, there is no fucking help for you, and every point you're about to make means absolutely fucking nothing. These are the people that are these fervent defenders. They're basically 1984ing it, trying to say, don't believe your own lying eyes. That is what that is the delusion that Hassan Piker is under. He is trying to 1984 it. This was in reference to the attacks by the attacks against the Israeli people. Is the October 7th attacks is the attacks against the Israeli people. So that is what this is in reference to. Hassan, forever and a day, has denied that this happened. Yeah, this is the recorded attacks of what the Hamas did to the Israeli people. He has denied forever and a day that it even happened. He is basically he is a denier about this. And this looks like it's an official document of the accounting of it in black and white, and he's still trying to deny it. He's still trying to deny it because he is a terrorist sympathizer, but he can't back up his claims.
No. So do you? No, you just don't know what words mean. So credible circumstantial evidence. Do you know what that means?
Uh-oh.
It means that there's, yeah, of course.
Credible circumstantial evidence is not a substitute for forensic evidence. Credible
That's why I said Pixar didn't happen, bro.
Is not
You need
enough
rape
to
kits.
prosecute.
Hassan needs
Credible
rape kits.
circumstantial evidence is not enough.
Pixar
to
didn't happen, right?
Prosecute.
Newsflash, fucko. To a little bit. Okay, Hassan, you dumb fucking cock-gobbling fucko. Try doing a little bit of fucking Googling and see how many SA cases have been brought to fucking court with convictions based on what would be considered circumstantial evidence because the victim in question did not come forward because they were ashamed to come forward, or an SA kit was not done for whatever reasons, but those cases were still brought to fucking court. The offender was still tried and found fucking guilty based upon witness testimony. Witness testimony, while can be considered circumstantial in certain cases, is still good enough to facilitate a fucking conviction. You asshat. You terrorist supporting fuckstick. Don't even try that bullshit. And honestly, if Ethan doesn't say something like that, I'm going to be a little bit disappointed because you could easily do a Google search and search court records to find SA cases that were done without the benefit of an SA kit because of whatever circumstances prevented it from doing so. The lack of an SA kit does not mean it didn't happen. You delusional. I'm tripping over myself because I'm getting so fucking pissed off. Okay? The pics where it didn't happen mindset when it comes to SA begs the question, Hassan, how much have you done? That you require such hardcore evidence? Oh, I have no doubt, Total. I have no doubt.
Rape, which is precisely the reason why the Israeli prosecutors themselves have said that in the absence of a singular victim coming out, and also with all of the forensic evidence that has been tarnished already.
Show me evidence for anything you're saying.
What?
That's not. Show me evidence for anything you're claiming that isn't some unhinged freak on Twitter.
So basically, you can see the logic he's using here. Hassan is basically saying if these things happen, the only way you should be believed is if you immediately take a kit and have the forensic evidence. Otherwise, you're lying and you shouldn't be believed. Now, that's just disgusting for the October 7th attacks. It's also disgusting as a general principle. He is telling victims of abuse, I'm not going to believe you unless you have forensic evidence immediately available. That is a disgusting standard, and one that...
And is what exactly caused the mindset of believe all women. That, like, his exact mindset of, okay, if you get SA'd, you better you better immediately go to the hospital and get a kit done, or I'm not going to believe a fucking word you say. That very mindset is what sparked the movement of believe all women. Which was not necessarily a good thing. That movement was not necessarily a good thing. Because the whole concept behind the believe all women thing was just believe them with believe them implicitly and don't investigate further. Just take everything that they say at face value and don't investigate at all. Which is not the proper way to do it. You do not dismiss out of hand and excuse me. Exactly, Rygat. That's exactly what it should be. It should be trust but verify. It's, that's the middle ground that should be held. Is, okay, if you are presented with an accusation, do not dismiss out of hand, but actually investigate and try and determine the facts of the situation. But for Hassan, it doesn't work that way. It's, if you do not present me a mountain of evidence along with your accusation, I don't fucking believe you.
People were very critical of last night. In fact, a Larry Nasser survivor came out and said this with a super chat in Ethan's stream here, saying, Larry Nasser survivor Lindsay Shoot here just came to say anyone discrediting people publicly admitting they were raped without amazing contrary evidence is disgusting. Hassan is a horrible human. And if you don't know who Larry Nasser is, he was a part of the medical team for the U.S. gymnastics team, and he abused, I've seen counts as much as 500 young girls throughout his career. So when you have a survivor of that coming in to check you on this related topic, that should be pretty eye-opening for someone like Hassan if he was actually self-aware. Now, here...
Yeah, like, when it comes to SA, there needs to be if there's an accusation, there should be an investigation. Now, don't believe any person that just says I was SA'd out of pocket without investigation. Because yes, there have been a disgusting amount of individuals that have lied. They let's not fuck with this. There have been a disgusting amount of people that have claimed that they were SA'd by someone, and it has turned out to be a lie, and the accusation was only made because the quote unquote victim was spurned by the other party, or didn't like the other party, or just wanted to fuck with the other party, or whatever the rationale might be. It does happen. You need to investigate. If it comes out that there is enough circumstantial or even physical factual evidence to substantiate the claim, okay. If there's evidence to prove the contrary, okay. But investigate. You don't take any accusations of SA just at someone's word. That's not how the law and that's not how investigations work. But you also don't need to have a presentation of a mountain of evidence to believe someone. So again, Hassan taking the shocking, extreme viewpoint on this, and basically saying, oh, well, you know, if a kid wasn't done, then she's fucking white. Because it would hurt his stance. It would basically demolish his stance of being an attack denier for years.
Here's another one where he is pressed about terrorism. Okay, and his quote about Hezbollah, where he says he doesn't have a problem with that terrorist organization. Here's his long-winded explanation of that.
So are people valid for thinking you're pro-terrorist?
Do you believe the State Department's designation for terrorism is valid?
Is it reasonable for people to think that you are pro-terrorist when you say I have no problem with Hezbollah?
Do you believe the State Department's designation?
I think this is what he was doing the whole fucking time. Every time he'd get asked the question, he wouldn't answer it when trying to ask a question back. He would just constantly deflect and refused to fucking answer the whole goddamn time. You hear it. He's like, don't you think that there's an issue with that, you know, where people think that you are pro-terrorist because you support Hezbollah, because you don't have a person with Hezbollah. And he's trying, don't you think the State Department's like, no, motherfucker, answer the question. Yeah, he's trying to avoid it because he knows it will make him look horrible. He knows that his answers will make him look horrible because he's not talking to his sycophants in his chat. That's the problem. When Hassan is put in front of someone that is actually going to challenge him, he can't answer. Because the person in front of him is not a sycophant that will just happily blob their head while they're sucking his cock, agreeing with everything he says, because he's like frickin', you know, Hamas Jesus. And everything he says is, of course, true because he is the great Hassan. No, when he gets put in front of a single person that will actually challenge him, he falls apart and can't answer a question because he knows he's going to be wrong. And, thank you for the follow, by the way. Or the prime, sorry, thank you for the prime. And, is the stream still good? I just saw that, in OBS, it was reconnecting the chat. Did we have a flicker or anything? Are we still good? Stream still fully active? I didn't see it stop recording or anything. Okay, it was just my chat connection then. Okay, we're good. Very good.
Terrorist when you say I have no problem with Hezbollah.
Do you believe the State Department's designation for terrorism is valid?
You answer my question and I'll answer yours. Are people valid?
Ethan,
and considering
you rely heavily on your audience not really understanding the terms that you are using.
Let it be noted.
Imagine being so dodgy about this subject. This is a black or white thing. You support them or not. And even in this case, he's not even directly pressing him on that. He's saying, do you understand why people would think you sympathize with that group because of those comments? And he can't answer.
That was a softball. That was literally a softball from Ethan. He wasn't even accusing Ethan, or even accusing Hassan of being a terrorist sympathizer. He said, can't you agree that you can maybe understand why people would label you like this based upon what you've said? So he's not even calling him a terrorist sympathizer. He's saying, can't you agree that people, that it's reasonable that people might think this way because of what you have said about this? Can't answer it. He fucking can't answer it because he knows he's wrong.
refuses to answer it. And also, he's trying to get Ethan this sort of gotcha where he's like, well, you know, you're misleading your very naive audience by saying that, because he's trying to say that basically Hassan doesn't agree with the labeling of Hezbollah as a designated terrorist group by the United States, which to me makes it even worse. Not only is he saying these weird comments about them, he's also trying to downplay their actions. When you're saying that you disagree with that designation as a terrorist group, you're saying their acts are not terrorism. So the terrorism committed by Hezbollah, he's trying to downplay, which I think is something an apologist would be doing. Well, let's move on to another clip where he was recently asked directly, do you support terrorism? This time he had an answer, but one that will backfire on him.
Okay, before we get to the answer. So the question's asked is, do I have a backup plan if Hassan gets this platform nuked? Hassan is not going to get this platform nuked. That he is not. This is not going to cause the platform to get nuked. The most that's going to happen is Hassan gets nuked off the platform, and perhaps there is a change in leadership for Twitch. Twitch, despite what is being said in social media, various streams, various YouTube videos, Twitch is not in a place where it's going to be going anywhere right now. And this interview and Hassan in general is not going to cause Twitch to get nuked. The only thing that will get nuked is Hassan off the platform. But Twitch itself will not get shut down from this. Because what will happen is, if it comes down to it, if it's that bad, the demand will be made of either get Hassan off the platform, or we start investigating your whole platform for X, Y, and Z. Probably something in relation to, you know, terror sympathizing or something like that. And when it comes to that, guess what the response will be? Hassan will be gone. So no, I don't think Twitch is not going anywhere. At least not right now. Whoops. Okay. Sorry, I accidentally clicked the wrong button. Almost went back into my intro screen.
Him during the current debate.
Wait, you support terrorism? ? No, I don't. I don't support the state of Israel.
Nice.
And I don't support the state of the United States of America.
So when asked...
Wait. I want to hear... I kind of... When I yelled lies, I think I talked over that. I gotta hear that again.
Israel. And I don't support the state... You support terrorism? ? No, I don't. I don't support the state of Israel. And I don't support the state of the United States of America.
That was an absolute nothing answer. Yes, Mouse. Yes, it is. He actually said he does not support the United States of America, which is where Twitch is based on. Now, be aware, okay? Be aware, before you guys start yelling about FBI with that statement, Hassan does have freedom of speech. He is fully entitled to say, I don't support the United States and I don't support Israel. When it comes to freedom of speech, he is fully able to say that if he wishes. There's nothing illegal about it. There's nothing FBI related to happen with that. He can say that if he wishes. Now, that is from a legal standpoint. Outside of legal, in terms of who is going to monetarily support him, his channel size, things like that, that's a whole different story. But legally, he is perfectly within his rights to say that if he wishes. But yes, he very quickly said, do you support terrorism? No, I do not say. But here's the thing. He also didn't outright say, no, I don't support terrorism. He again tried to do a turnaround. Okay, listen to his statement again. I know listening to him is like nails on a chalkboard, but listen to his statement again.
Backfire on him during the current debate.
Wait, you support terrorism? ? No, I don't. I don't support the state of Israel. And I don't support the state of the United States of America.
The way he just worded that statement could very easily be construed as him saying the state of Israel and the, quote, state of the United States are terrorists. That is what that statement just sounded like. The way he just said it made it sound like he just labeled the state of Israel a land of terrorists and the country of the United States as terrorists. That is how that sounded. So he just labeled 2 entire fucking countries as terrorists. Now, again, he is fully within his rights under freedom of speech to say that. Okay? It's not treasonous by the law. Bear that in mind. He is under the First Amendment, he is legally allowed to make that statement. So, legally speaking, he has done nothing illegal. It is not treasonous. Simply saying that I think that the United States of America is a terrorist country is not treasonous. Just by that statement alone. Bear that in mind. But again, freedom of speech does not equate to freedom of other consequences outside of legal action by the state. I'm just saying. How many sponsors watch this debate and are going, yeah, we're revoking our sponsorship. We don't want to have anything to do with you after this. Like Shopify. I'm going to hazard a guess that maybe a few of his sponsors are going to be tearing up any contracts they have for them and say, yeah, no, we're out. We are out. Astronaut, I am not a legal scholar, so I do not think so. To the best of my understanding, no, there is no law that can strip him of citizenship. I'm not aware of any law in the books that would allow for that.
So when asked if he supports terrorism, he says no, he doesn't support the United States of America. He's doing his own designation now. He's designating the United States of America as a terrorist organization.
Yeah,
which
okay,
is,
Rev picked it up too.
Unfortunate for him because that topic would come up later on in this debate when they're talking about Ethan's wife, Hila. For those who don't know, she was born in Israel, and at age 18, you have to serve in the IDF. You don't have a choice. And people in Hassan's community and the related ones have brutalized her with that fact. They have called her a genocider. They've said that she was killing children during her service and all these wild claims. They genuinely think like she deserves the worst as a result of following through with the conscription. But here, he is now giving an explanation of what Hila should have done at the age of 18.
Oh, for God's sake.
You say that Hila could have gone to jail and done a conscientious objection instead of joining the army. Why do you pay taxes? Why do you pay taxes to the United States government?
This is your big argument, Ethan?
Answer the question.
That I pay taxes and I'm morally culpable? I know. That's why I try to fucking fight against this goddamn government doing this shit every day.
Hold on. Why don't you stand up for your principles and go to jail for it?
Because it would not actually stop, okay? It would not actually stop. The reason...
Gotcha! She walked right into it. She walked right into it. She pays taxes because and won't go to jail because it's not going to stop. Why do you think Hila did the mandatory service? Because if she was a conscientious objector and went to jail, it wasn't going to stop. Thank you for proving the point exactly, Hassan. Thank you for proving the exact fucking point. You miss it? Okay, I will rewind because it's worth hearing. It is worth hearing.
Why do you pay taxes?
Oh, wait.
Age of 18.
There we go. Okay.
Hassan, you say that Hila could have gone to jail and done a conscientious objection instead of joining the army. Why do you pay taxes?
on.
Why do you pay taxes to the United States
This
government?
is your big argument, Ethan?
Answer the question.
That I pay taxes and I'm morally culpable? I know. That's why I try to fucking
Why don't
fight
you go to
against this
jail?
goddamn government
Well,
doing
why
this
don't you
shit every
stand up
day.
for your? Hold on. Why don't you stand up for your principles and go to jail for it?
Because it would not actually stop. Okay, it would not actually stop. The reason why I'm saying
What wouldn't stop?
I don't take issue with Hila's fucking actions then, as long as, just like you said, she was just 19 years old. I take issue with the fact that she still defends it on principle.
What does she say? Do you want this?
Yeah, that's a pretty good gotcha right there. Why are you paying your taxes
Very good
to
gotcha.
a country, by the way, you think is committing terrorism? Like, wouldn't you be...
Oh, no, Zeb, that was his argument. Hassan said that she should have been. Hassan has said that that was what Ethan was talking about. Hassan has said that she should have been a conscientious objector and gone to jail instead of doing her service with the IDF. I believe that's what Ethan was referring to. Is he has said that in the past, and Ethan just turned it around, just easily turned that around on him, and basically said, "Okay, cool. Why are you paying taxes? Why don't you go to jail for tax evasion?" It's the same fucking thing. If you consider the U.S. a terrorist organization, okay, why are you paying taxes to a government that you consider a terrorist organization? It was probably the easiest. Like, Hassan served up this gotcha on a silver fucking plate to Ethan. It was so fucking easy. Hey, oh, you're talking about the One Piece stuff behind Hassan? Yeah, Hassan has said he likes One Piece. Okay, Hassan has actually referred to the Hamas terrorist that he interviewed on his stream. He actually referred to him as Luffy. He basically said that the Hamas terrorist that he interviewed is the same as Luffy. So yeah, I know he likes Houthi. Sorry, wrong H. Houthi. It was the Houthi terrorist that he equated to Luffy. He actually called him. He said, "You're like Luffy." Yeah. Yeah, I wrong H terrorist. I mixed up Hamas and Houthi. It was the Houthi terrorist. You are correct. Good night,
aiding
Stefan.
and abetting a terrorist organization by your own definition. I mean, this is absolutely insane. His solution to an 18-year-old Hila, she should have just gone to prison and ruined her life at that time. So, 15, 20 years in the future, she won't be called a genocider by a bunch of wackadoos in Hassan Piker's community. Like, do we hear ourselves? And of course, he says with his own situation, his side, I still pay taxes and live here because it won't make an actual difference. I mean, that's such...
Oh yeah, Simon. I think it was in this debate. I'm pretty sure it was in this debate, although I could be mistaken about that. Hassan actually said that the Houthi terrorist is the same as Anne fucking Frank. So he actually made that comparison, that a Houthi terrorist is the same as Anne Frank. Ignoring, of course, the fact that Anne Frank was not a soldier. She was a child. And she was killed by the Nazis in World War II Germany. She was a Holocaust victim. And she was also nonviolent and loved everyone. In her own diary, she said even though she knew that she was going to die, she still did not hate the people that were going to be doing it to her. She still had love for everyone. And you fucking dare try and equate a goddamn terrorist to Anne Frank? Go fuck yourself. With a bad dragon wrapped in Constantina wire, soaked in ghost pepper hot sauce, with a stick of fucking TNT shoved in the middle of it. I haven't decided yet if we'll light the fucking fuse.
A lame excuse. Like, if you're gonna hold these crazy standards on other people, then yeah, you should expect those standards be held to you as well. And also, he was questioned about the Houthi terrorist.
Here we go. Here we fucking go.
And specifically, he mentioned that Hassan has made multiple times where he compared this terrorist to Anne Frank. He called her a modern-day Anne Frank. So here's his explanation of that.
You still agree that he's just like Anne Frank?
Did you not hear what I asked you?
I'm just summarizing.
Yes.
Okay, very good.
Anne Frank died before she could resist. But if she did, I would never hold that against her.
She was fucking killed in a concentration camp, you psychopath.
But if she
was exterminated with her whole fucking family. Her dad's the only one that survived and recovered her journal. Are you fucking mad?
Either, Ethan.
Well, I'm at a loss for words. Like, I am so fucking furious. I'm at a loss for words. To basically say, oh, she was too young. She didn't have a chance to resist. It's like, motherfucker. This is basic goddamn history. Her journal is public knowledge. The contents of her journal are public fucking knowledge. Her journal actually says she has no hate for everyone, for anyone, including the people that were going to fucking kill her. Including the fucking psychopaths that sold her off to a concentration camp and fucking kill her. And she still was a better person than you, Hassan, could ever fucking dream of being in 1,000 fucking years.
He is brain dead and retarded.
You have no idea what humanity is. He has no fucking clue what humanity even is. To try and equate a fucking terrorist to someone like Anne Frank and try to make and besmirch and tarnish her character. He flat out fucking just slandered and tarnished the character of the Anne fucking Frank. A person that only believed in the good of people. She believed in the good in everyone. And his son fucking dares to tarnish and slander her like that. Fuck you, Hassan. Fuck you. You do not deserve the platform that you're broadcasting on, the riches that you have earned from it. You don't deserve any of it.
Right? Would you hold that against her? Would you hold that against her?
I wouldn't hold it against her, but she wouldn't be the same historical figure that said, despite my family being killed in concentration camp and everyone being murdered, I'm still a pacifist that sees the good in people. What the fuck is what's so confusing about that? Not kill Zionists, not new.
Yes, exactly. She still saw the good even in the people who killed her. And the goddamn gobbling thunder fuck that is Hassan has no problem besmirching her legacy because she's a Jew. Because she's a Jew, he has no problem completely mischaracterizing and besmirching her. And the lying. He's thinks over. Well. All right, see how much worse this is going to get.
Israel, not a pike through Zionist assholes.
Yeah. I mean, are we serious? We're comparing what Anne Frank went through to a guy that's going around and committing acts of terrorism, shooting missiles at
Gerald, I'm going to get to that. Because I've been seeing something, I've been seeing things today. I will get to that at the conclusion of this video.
To a guy that's going around and committing acts of terrorism, shooting missiles at ships, taking over ships. Like, are we serious? It's absolutely insane. And also, I see people all the time defend that interview he had with this terrorist. They say, oh, what's the big deal? You're mad at Hassan, but you're not mad at these other major news outlets who have interviewed terrorists in the past.
These major news outlets don't support them.
Mainstream media outlets going out and interviewing, let's say, Al-Qaeda years ago, they weren't doing it and immediately going there and dropping to their knees and glucking on these terrorists like Hassan did with this Houthi pirate. Okay? They didn't glaze these people up. They interviewed them for whatever purpose they had. They weren't glazing up. They weren't showing support for what they're doing like Hassan did with this Houthi pirate. Like, it's absolutely crazy people think that there's some sort of a connection between his interview with this terrorist versus terrorists who have been interviewed by these major news outlets.
It's not a connection. It's false equivalency. The people who say that, oh, it's this, it's the same as like reporters that go and interview the Taliban or interview other, you know, I think there may have been one that interviewed someone, people from Hezbollah, or people that go and interview the cartels. It's not, they're not doing it because they side with them. They're basically getting a peek into these people that the general populace knows nothing about, and hearing their motivations and seeing what it is they do. But the news agencies are not offering support for them. They are simply disseminating information and trying to equate major news networks with Hassan, which, like, flat out promoting Houthi terrorists is absolute false equivalency, which they will not acknowledge because it kills their entire point. Because if they don't have that false equivalency, their argument dies as soon as it leaves their lips.
In the past, not even comparable whatsoever. But then we have this whole section about the Frogan Sabra tier list that her and other people in Hassan's orbit were a part of. In case you don't know what that was, it was a sponsored panel at Twitch where they ranked content creators based on their race, essentially. If you were more Arab, you were in the S tier, meaning good. If you were more Jewish, you were in the F tier, boo, bad, according to them. It's very obvious what they were doing during that tier list, and he's still defending this stuff to this day and acting like he has no idea what the issue is.
By the way, before he gets into this, in regards to the situation with Frogan, and by the way, Imperial Officer, thank you for the follow, and Dropkick, I neglected to thank you earlier. Thank you for the gifted also. I don't know if you've got. Thank you, Imperial, for the tier 1 as well. Thank you. In regards to Frozen, for fuck's sake, I am just, oh my god, my brain is cooked. In regards to Frogan, apparently Tectone has a permaban off Twitch incoming because he called Frogan names. Supposedly. Tectone has come out and said that he has been informed by someone within Twitch that he is going to be permabanned off of Twitch within the month. And apparently and I think it may be potentially, or maybe he knows for sure, I do not know, but it has to do with his criticism of Frogan. He doesn't think it's coming anymore? Ah, okay. So, okay, Snowman, you saw him, and you saw it, you were watching Dane, he said he doesn't think it's coming anymore. And my guess is this interview may have caused the change. Every time, Duran, every time. Yeah, my guess is this interview and how badly it went for Hassan and showcased just how up his own ass Hassan is may have been a factor, which may have included a, oops, we changed our mind. That would be my guess. It is due to that. Jack, thank you for 5 gifted.
Let me follow up with this. Have you seen the thumbnail?
The thumbnail?
Yes, that's what I said. This is the thumbnail that's still up. Now, let me ask you this, Hassan. Here's Frogan's thumbnail for the Sabra hummus tier list. In the F tier is me and Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro is not in the tier list. He has never explored or used. Why do you think Ben Shapiro is on the F tier?
Ethan?
Okay.
Whoa, answer the question.
Again.
What you're dodging.
And by the way, that's what I was talking about, just so you guys know. Like those things, like you're seeing like the movements where he's like lifting his head or clenching his jaw or flapping his hand like this. That's what Brev was saying, what I was saying about Ethan's Tourette's. It's presenting itself in this interview more than normal. So when you're seeing him flapping his hand like this or lifting his head or maybe clenching his jaw, that's his Tourette's. That's resulting in that.
Again.
What you're dodging.
I'm not iDubbbz.
But you can't make valid.
He's intentionally trying to not see what he's bringing up. I think it's very obvious. He knows if he's pressed to answer this, he knows why they're in the positions of the tier list that they are. They're trying to say that being Jewish is bad. That's what they're trying to do, and they're trying to play coy about it. And Hassan knows it, but he doesn't want to say it. But let's move on to another controversy that people have been talking about recently. It has to do with this photo from the content cop that iDubbbz made on Ethan Klein. There was a controversy with this sword. The hilt of the sword is a swastika. Now, is that a swastika from Nazi Germany? No. It is likely the Manji swastika that predates Nazi Germany. It's supposed to mean good fortune. It's a Buddhist symbol. There's nothing inherently controversial about it. But, as admitted in his own fluff piece recently, Hassan Piker has 10 swords at his home where this was shot. And iDubbbz just so happened to pick up the one that Hassan refers to as the swastika sword in his own words, and then tilts it to the camera so everyone can see while making a video criticizing a Jewish person. At the very least, it looks really bad, even if it was an accident, right?
I'm gonna be honest. Excuse me. That feels a bit of a stretch. It's entirely possible that maybe it was intentional. It is possible. I'm not going to say definitively no, it's not intentional. It does feel a bit of a stretch. I think it might depend on like did Brem just say Hassan suggested the sword, or did iDubbbz pick it?
While making a video criticizing a Jewish person. At the very least, it looks...
Is that the bleach sword? Is this the bleach sword? Okay, so if iDubbbz was the one that picked it, I am not ready to say that it was chosen because of the quote-unquote swastika on it. Because let's not forget, the swastika is also pointed the opposite direction. Okay? The tines on the hilt are pointed this way and this way. The swastika used by Nazi Germany, the tines are reversed. So it is a bit of a stretch. Yeah, Mishtar or Mirstar, I think you're right. I do think it's like edgelords trying to be edgy. I think that is far more likely the scenario versus he picked a sword because it has the Buddhist swastika symbol on it. Yeah, he noted the swastika, but it's a Buddhist it's the Buddhist symbol swastika. Just Mira. Okay, Mira. Very good. It's, yeah, he in his stupid ass fucking brain, he just saw, oh, it's got the general shape of a swastika, not even notating that the tines are reversed. Like, could it have been chosen by iDubbbz because it was a swastika, not like in his dumb, him and Hassan's dumb fucking minds, not realizing that it's not actually the Nazi symbol, it's the Buddha symbol? Certainly. Absolutely, I can see that between the two of them barely having two brain cells to rub together, I can absolutely see them going that route. I'm not prepared yet to say it was an intentional, that he chose it for this reason for the video. Yet.
Really bad, even if it was an accident, right? And people will still not admit what the optics are here and why this looks bad, and they're still playing coy about it to this day, as you can see with Hasan Piker. He continued to say that in this debate, that he doesn't believe it's a swastika, but it's a swastika sword in his own words. But also he tries to say, oh, Ethan, you can't tell me about this because you drew a swastika 9 years ago on the back of PewDiePie.
You have that much of an issue with swastikas considering you drew one on PewDiePie.
I'm a Jewish man, you fucking moron.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Is anyone in that room Jewish? What's anyone in that room? Did I draw swastika one time on?
Do you think that Jews have an exclusivity agreement with like being offended or not offended by Nazi imagery? You've done a Sig Heil approximately what 50 times.
Why did I do a Sig Heil? Why did I do a Sig Heil?
I don't know.
Because you only watch clips on Twitter. I was making fun of Elon Musk and trying to see if it was valid or not.
Oh.
Boom! Dumb fuck. See, Hassan needs to follow my advice and remember context. Context is key, you dumb fuck. Context is key. But because he saw a 5-second clip on Twitter and just went, oh, Ethan did the Nazi hand salute. No, didn't bother looking into the context of it. He said, oh, he must be doing Nazi stuff. Fucking moron.
Thank you.
And by the way, as a Jewish man, are you going to tell black people not to use the N-word?
Wait, what?
Are you going to tell black people not to use the N-word because it offends you?
Uh-huh.
What? It's a pretty fair comparison, and of course,
yeah, it is.
He has no answer to it because he's been caught in another situation where he's creating standards for other people but doesn't like the logical extensions of that. But I want to move on to this right here where they're talking about Creator Clash 3, which is going to be a continued subject because iDubbbz, pretty much right as recording this video, released another video about H3, and apparently there's some parts about Creator Clash 3. I'm sure we'll talk about it tomorrow. But in this part of the debate, he basically says you helped ruin a charity event.
Hasan and his crew don't have a single brain cell between them. They are less intelligent than just one hydrogen atom.
Not only smart, but how ironic that the insult was made by Albert Einstein.
Part of the debate, he basically says you helped ruin a charity event.
Listen to Hassan and you hear all these fucking...
Yes, you ruined a charity event. I hope you're proud.
So he's blaming Ethan for ruining a charity event, which, in case you don't know,
my God.
with Creator Clash, an event run by iDubbbz, if they raise enough to cover the cost of the event, everything beyond that goes to charity. In the first one, they were able to give to charity. In the second Creator Clash, they didn't make enough money to even cover the expenses, therefore there was no money given to charity. And this year it's looking like an absolute disaster. There's pretty much no tickets sold. There's clearly not going to be enough to give away to charity. I think it's very obvious at this point. And now he's trying to hold that over Ethan's head. It's your fault. The charities are not going to make money.
Wait.
No, I'm sorry. It's iDubbbz's fault that there's not going to be money going to the charity because it's his...
Again, the deflection. He's deflecting to try and take the heat off himself, and it ain't gonna work. It's not working. everybody already knows that it's all on Hassan, it's all on Frogan, it's all on iDubbbz, it's all on Denims, and it's all on that third guy who I don't even know what the fuck he is, but he was the guy talking about we need socialism that I tried to invoke the spirit of Nick to put in his place and failed miserably.
Event, and he has blown it up. He has completely ruined it. He didn't promote it properly. He tried to go back in for a second time after the failure of Creator Clash 2, and he also made this content cop that made people want to support him even less. He has blown up his own event, and now we're blaming it on Ethan Klein because the content cop blew up in iDubbbz' face. I think that's completely ridiculous, and also just because something has a charitable aspect to it doesn't mean everyone has to sit around and make sure it succeeds. Honestly, if you care so much about charity, screw Creator Clash, just give it directly to the charities and avoid all this rigmarole around this subject. But now I want to move to this right here. This is a very weird part of the debate where we see Hassan in a very blatant lie trying to say that Ethan Klein works with the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, which, by the way, making that assumption about a Jewish man that they must be a part of the ADL because they're Jewish, I think that's pretty anti-Semitic, but let's watch the clip.
Ed, and I'll quote a tweet that you made. Okay?
Yeah.
Go ahead. You said, I'll quote, he worked with the ADL to make Zionists a protected class on Twitch. Now, that is an outright lie.
Yep.
I don't think it's an outright lie.
I worked with the
you took
ADL.
credit over it, didn't you?
Sorry. I worked with the ADL. What does that mean?
Yeah, as in like worked alongside. I don't think you're in the ADL.
Oh, that's what you meant when you said I worked with the ADL. I worked beside them, just incidentally together. You didn't mean that I worked with them privately to get people banned. Of course not.
No, I do think that.
Didn't you say you choose your words very carefully?
Thank you, Hackle.
You just told me briefly ago. You choose your words very carefully, Hassan.
Not always. I'm famously.
Okay, we're walking that back. Sometimes I speak out the side of my mouth when I say you work with the ADL. So. Here you are again.
Yeah, Revan, I do agree. There is a bit of semantics. It's this particular one is a bit of semantics, where Ethan was reading the tweet saying that Hassan, quoting Hassan, is saying that Ethan worked with the ADL to make Zionists a protected class and so on. Well, that's the thing. On its face, the quote of Ethan worked with the ADL, on its face, does not, in my opinion, indicate that Hassan was saying Ethan is a part of the ADL. On its face, it doesn't outright say that. It doesn't keep going? Okay, like I will just say on that singular part of the quote alone, saying that Ethan worked with the ADL and then continuing on making Zionists a protected class, that part's bullshit. I know that. I know that's bullshit. But saying that he worked with the ADL, as a layperson, I could see reading that as working with, as in like working, not being a part of the ADL, but working with them in some capacity, as what Hassan was saying is like maybe beside them, like laterally with them. I could see it being used in that context, and not strictly speaking as being that he was a part of the ADL. That singular line, I could. However, the fact that he's backpedaling and eating shit as fast as he can, when pressed on it, seems to indicate that his intention was that Ethan was a part of the ADL. Ironically enough, his response to it is offering more in-depth context. Yeah, that's the Hassan doing this backpedaling and eating shit indicates that what previously could have been taken in multiple ways is now looking more in context with his backpedaling that he meant it as Ethan was in the ADL. So Hassan basically added his own context that he probably didn't intend to add.
Repeating the lie with Steiny on video. Go ahead.
Oh, hang on.
ADL. Here you are again repeating the lie with Steiny on video. Go ahead. You had time
constantly come after me when his knows I'm not anti-Semitic and making these inferences that I am, and like partnering with like the ADL and.
Whoops. Guess he didn't choose his words very carefully. Again, this is something that's like such.
Okay, and again, partnering with the ADL. Well, okay, saying partnering with the ADL does not mean he is a part of the ADL. Because the expression partnering with is used in, like, many times by many people to say that they are working in tandem with, or that it is an agency that they're working with, but they are not part of that agency. Well, Shadows, I don't know, like, if you are predisposed, against Hassan and how he talks, yes, but if you look at the statements objectively, they could read and hear as he is just working with them, but is not a part of them. You could, coming at this from a point of objectivity, of neutral objectivity, you could read and hear it in that way. The problem is Hassan's response when presented with this evidence is twisting things to now make it seem like, yeah, he really did intend to mean it as that Ethan is a part of the ADL. That's the funny part. I could give leeway on those two statements from an objective standpoint that he did not mean that Ethan was part of the ADL, but the minute he started backtracking, eating shit, and trying to cover his ass, oh, so you really did mean that Ethan was a part of the ADL. You sunk yourself on that one. I mean, I would give you a fair shot and say you didn't mean he was actually a part of them, but you're stumbling all over yourself trying to defend yourself with this, and now it seems pretty clear that you did mean he was a part of the ADL. You fucked yourself, Hassan. Congrats.
A blatant lie, and he can't even own up to it. Like, just say, yeah, I said that. I can see why it would come off like I'm saying that Ethan directly worked with the ADL. It's just like a pointless, stupid lie that he made, and he just won't admit to it, which is not surprising in the slightest.
Wait, hold on. Maybe I'm misunderstanding. Was the argument not that Ethan was a part of the ADL, but that he simply worked with the ADL in the first place on something? Was that the argument? Because at the beginning of this, I got the impression that the big issue was that he was claiming Ethan, that there was the claim that Ethan was part of the ADL, not that he simply worked with them on something. If the argument at the beginning is that he simply worked with them on something from the very beginning, then yeah, this is a lie. Perhaps I misunderstood the context of the beginning of what the reference was. Okay. All right.
But I want to share a little bit of this. This is just about halfway through where he just starts crashing out. Like, Hassan literally just loses his mind. Let's watch a little bit of this.
Didn't leave because we were Zionists. We left because we were no longer safe.
Okay.
Explain to me.
I can't wait to bring up obviously on the broadcast to make you fucking look like a dumbass.
I can't wait to. And now explain what he means by that. We did not leave Iraq because we were Zionists. We left because we were no longer safe.
Iraqis are not Palestinian. You fucking moron. You racist piece of shit.
What?
Because Iraq and the pan-Arabic nationalist movements that arise out of
you are
Zionist
out of your mind.
Is not about Palestinians.
Okay, so what did the Jews in Iraq have to do with fucking Israel? You bigot. You are so out of your mind.
And then Iraqis,
dude, you screaming and grandstanding doesn't mean you're right.
Iraqi government's racism during the pan-Arabic nationalist movements as a vindication for why, or a comparison as to why Israel had to do the Nakba.
Take a breath, bro. Like, whenever someone gets this mad,
What
they're just
the
shouting
fuck
over
was
the
that?
person they're debating. I think it's because they know they're in a corner and they're trying to fight their way out.
No, it's child behavior. It's child behavior. When he starts screaming like that and crashing out like that, that is child instinctive behavior. That is, if I'm screaming and yelling about it, then I must be serious and I must be right because I'm being passionate. So don't you believe me now because I'm screaming and yelling and reeing. Because screaming and yelling and reeing means I'm correct and I'm serious and I'm not lying, right? That's what that was. This is literally the behavior of a child. When a child gets in trouble, and a child that gets metaphorically cornered and confronted with their wrongdoings, their last-ditch effort is to start screaming. And because in their undeveloped minds, they think if I'm screaming and throwing a tantrum, then they'll have to know that I'm serious and I'll get out of trouble. He's literally behaving like a child.
This is a series of conversations they had about historical things, and it's like, again, like, wouldn't you think like Hassan would know a lot more than Ethan Klein? A lot of people have fact-checked this stuff, and it's just like outrageous claims.
No, because Hassan does not do fact-checking. Hassan does not actually fact-check. Hassan's fact-checking is limited to what he sees on fucking Twitter. Twitter is his quote-unquote fact-check. So no, he doesn't.
And he's yelling because he's being checked in real time and he doesn't like the results. But also there was a debate in there about clip sources, which I think is the dumbest thing ever, where Hassan Piker was saying that Ethan gets his clip sources from bad people, where there was bad titles. Like one of them was titled, the clip that he was shared was titled Hamas Piker, right? And literally during these same debates, he shared a file that was Chris CPS. Now, for those who don't know, there was about a month ago a false call made to CPS on Ethan Klein and his children, and that was something he had to deal with because psychos in some of these communities decided to abuse and weaponize CPS to basically get one over on Ethan Klein. So he literally, again, set up the standard and then violated it himself in the same debate. Like, crazy stuff. Then there's this whole conversation about Destiny, which is a content creator that lives in the mind of Hassan Piker. He believes everything that happens to him is the work of Destiny. There's no connection whatsoever between Ethan and Destiny, despite Hassan believing that he wrote the content nuke that Ethan made on Hassan a few months ago. Let's just watch some of this.
I think you're doing that all on your own.
We'll see.
To be fair.
Yeah, we'll see. So do you want to tell me what is your evidence that I work with or talk to or have any association with at all with Destiny?
Oh, here we go.
What? Destiny? What?
Like that is his canned answer. That is his tell. That is Hassan's tell. Every fucking time he gets asked a question that he knows he can't defend or he knows he's in the wrong, he does the nani response. Every fucking time. It is a tell. If he ever goes, what? You know that whatever he was just questioned on or called out on, he either can't defend or was wrong on. And he knows he's about to get his ass handed to him. It is the biggest fucking tell in the world.
Oh, but what? The guy that I talk about fucking obsessively 100 times a day? That is like basically like the Antichrist, the Lord Voldemort in my community? Yeah, you accuse me of working with him, knowing him, talking to him. What is your evidence for that?
Thank you for asking.
Oh, you're very
Not
welcome.
only is there video footage of you corresponding with someone in your Discord that literally aligns perfectly with Destiny's own Discord, offering clips for you to pull.
That sounds like a stretch.
You've also used.
That's pretty much as good as it gets. I'll spare you some more time here, but yeah,
Okay.
his evidence is that there's a guy in the Discord server who also is in his Discord server. That's it.
That's the
connection
evidence.
Has been formed. And also, if you want to know something funny, how rent-free all this is. The first...
Revan, not even so people can have the same ideas, so someone in his Discord follows Destiny, has heard Destiny talking, and presented the same ideas as Destiny. That's it. It's not even like the guy having the same idea. It's basically forwarding along the same idea, basically.
First thing that Hassan did after the debate was over was immediately tweet about Destiny. Completely and utterly rent-free. Like, it's actually insane. And by the way, I mean, like, I don't like Destiny. A lot of people don't like Destiny, but his obsession with him is pretty well documented at this point. But
yep.
Let's wrap it up here because there's only 2 more clips I want to show. This was at the end of the debate. I just want to share this one honestly because it's pretty funny.
And by the way,
you're not going to scare us. You're not going to.
I'll just say up front, we can end on that point.
Oh, I can keep going all day
sure
if you want to.
Yeah, I know.
And thank you, Able Clips, for the follow.
You go to bed tonight in a cool race car bed, but I have family.
Okay, no, that's fine. Why are you thinking about what my bedroom looks like? It's kind of weird, man.
Yeah. No.
Why did he take that as like a sexual comment?
He did it. He did it. Okay. No, I'm not gonna. I'm calling that as no. It was deflection. It was not as a sexual comment. It was Hassan trying to basically use humor to hide the fact that he just basically got curb stomped into the ground. It was basically the equivalent of nervous laughter because to try and hide the fact that he is hurting from that curb stomping Ethan just gave him. It wasn't sexual or anything. It was just, that was just like, ha 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 ha, I want to go hide now. That's what it was. Okay, it wasn't like Hassan trying to say Ethan was trying to make it sexual. It was just, it was basically the nervous laughter. It's the guy that when the drill sergeant is screaming in his face, can't help but keep smiling. That's basically what it was. Nothing. At least so far.
That's very weird. Weird reaction, but he's right. Ethan goes home to his family, and Hassan, well, he goes home and stares at the ceiling and thinks about how he's no longer the top political streamer on Twitch and then probably cries himself to sleep. But he had one more thing to say, wrapping up the debates when he was back on his own. He got rid of his mantle off of his shoulders here and basically started going off saying that there's going to be a sea of brigaders as a result of this debate and to be prepared for that.
Online. So in the upcoming days, you will see an endless sea of brigaders who are like, Ethan was so calm and kept his composure the entire time. TikTok will go crazy with clips going where people are like, what the fuck is this guy's problem about Ethan? Twitter most likely will also be going crazy with clips that are like, what the fuck is this guy's problem with respect to Ethan? But Reddit
they will.
And Twitch and my Twitch chat will absolutely be brigaded to oblivion with people going, he was so intelligent. You got owned, little.
Okay, let me make this clear, by the way.
Yes. You probably will be. And justifiably so. Your ass got absolutely fucking owned in that debate. Hassan became Ethan's bitch in that debate. There's no other way to characterize it. Hassan is now Ethan's bitch. And he is so fucking butthurt by it. He's not going to admit it, but that's the way it is.
I don't think necessarily that Ethan won the debate. It's more like Hasan Piker lost, right? It was like an unforced error. He just completely screwed himself over start to finish. And he should have won based on the type of people and their backgrounds, especially when it comes to politics. Hasan Piker should have destroyed him, but it didn't go his way. He got embarrassed.
Yep.
And it's not just a couple small spots that are supporting Ethan Klein. I think the overall landscape across all social media right now is that Hasan Piker blew this. And you can see evidenced by the actual debate uploaded on his own channel. I mean, this is pretty pathetic for a video on his own channel on a debate like this to not even get close to a 50% like-dislike ratio. This guy is literally a dislike factory at this point. Everything he touches gets dislike bombed into oblivion because people have had enough. They're repudiating him. They repudiate anything that has to do with him, and it's shown here once again. And of course, the orbiters were in full force.
Oh,
right?
God.
All of his favorites like Denim's TV saying Ethan demolished by Hassan. Holy
oh
moly.
My God.
Yeah, this one. Wake up, Ethan. That wasn't a debate. It was a massacre. This one's saying
Ethan doing the massacring.
Hassan debate fiasco. And one more. Hassan debates Ethan Klein. And of course, that's one of his many orbiters. Ethan Klein surrenders every major point. So, you know, they're out there defending. That's not too surprising. But at the end of the day,
and lying.
This was a big mess. And they agreed to possibly do more in the future. I mean, at the end of the day, whether you think Hassan
they're all
won
talking
or
about
Ethan
it,
won,
Alex. They're all talking about it.
Won. We're all winning by getting free content out of this because it's a spectacle to watch. But for now, that's going to do for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
And I'm going to hazard a guess that Nux probably did a 3-hour video just laughing his ass off about this one. He probably Nux was probably laughing the entire debate. What? The one thing that I was gonna point out, chat, as thank you, cutie banana cat, but I have important stuff to talk about. The one thing I did want to talk about with this is there is some fallout to this. There actually is fallout to this. In that apparently Twitch is blocking people from reporting Hassan for supporting terrorists. I saw something on Twitter today that people, I'm not sure if it happened during the debate or not, but people, like, I guess when he was being, when he was being supportive of terrorists during the debate, I think it might have been, there are screenshots of people that try to report him, to, like, do a Twitch reporting on him, and it said invalid response and would not let the report against Hassan go through. So I don't know if there's been if Twitch has responded as to why this happened. I saw it on Twitter. I do not know if or internal error. Yes, excuse me. They showed internal error. You are correct, right? That's what it was. So yeah, Twitch is literally blocking people from reporting Hassan for supporting terrorism. And again, I think this occurred during the debate, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay, did it? So it's, Simon, it's entirely possible that it was US only. That is possible. I just saw that apparently it was happening, which is not good. Yeah. So I'm wondering if maybe we might start seeing some fallout from this. We shall see. Who knows? Maybe nothing will happen. Maybe we'll actually start seeing fallout. I don't know. But he got his ass handed to him. Hassan is now Ethan's bitch. And Hassan is oh so butthurt for it. And it looks great on him. It looks great on him.